David. Congratulations on Solos coming out. It was fascinating. You did an amazing job.
Thank you
Nice
so much, Tatiana. Great to meet you. Thank you.
to meet you too. I also loved Hunters, so I think you're just,
Thank you.
on a roll. So, first, what inspired Solos for you? What was the first initial? Like, I believe it came before the pandemic, even.
Yeah, I've always wanted to tell a story with one actor in one room telling a singular tale. I think it's how I fell in love with storytelling. My grandmother being the best storyteller that I ever knew, and my brother's an incredible storyteller. And so I wanted to recreate that experience for a wider audience. But I will say that, having lived through, all of us, the pandemic, and really yearning for human connection, feeling these, feelings of solitude and loneliness, Solos really became a treatise and an exploration on how to reconnect, on how to rediscover your humanity. My greatest hope is that each of these episodes allows an audience to reflect on their own lives, to look inward, and to think about who we are as human beings and who we want to be.
I love that. I also love every single actor that you chose that is in it.
Me too.
So I was just wondering from the start, or how was it cast? When you were writing, did you have specific actors in mind, or did that come across like, in conversation with yourself or with the other directors of the episodes?
Totally. Look, I think whenever I'm writing, I always have Helen Mirren or Anthony Mackie or Anne Hathaway in mind, Constance Wu. So it's such a dream come true to send them the material, to have them consider it and explore it, and to say yes. I mean, in my wildest dreams, I could not have imagined a cast as accomplished and brilliant and kind as this one. So I feel truly like this is, I really, every day I'm like, how do we do this? Like, this is so wild that we got these incredible artists on board.
Definitely. Also, you obviously have already cut your teeth on the writing game, but now you added both directing and producing. What is it like to do all these things at once? How are you juggling everything?
It's it's a lot, but I think the most exciting thing is being able to realize vision from blank page to final frame on screen. That was such a new experience, and I think as a director, first time director on Solos, first of all I have such admiration for filmmakers. It's such a relentless and all encompassing exercise of artistry. But it made me a much better writer. I think directing made me much less precious with the text, and it's really about how to convey and bring to life these great emotions and visual style that each piece demands. So I honestly feel it was a lot wearing many different hats. I wouldn't have wished for anything else. It was so exhilarating and wonderful. But I really definitely learned so much more about being a showrunner and a writer now directing as well.
Yeah, I love that. I guess it's like the director you is like, no, that was bad. Writer me, I have to change
Yeah,
that. It's not going to
exactly.
work. Now, the Tom episode was really powerful. I believe you directed that one
Yes.
personally as well. Yeah, and obviously Anthony Mackie was amazing. So how did you work with him to be both? you know, to make sure there's changes. To make sure that each one comes across the way that it needs to.
Absolutely. Well, I've wanted to work with Anthony forever. I'm such a fan of his. So when he signed on to Tom, which I wrote, it was the first episode actually that I wrote for Solos. And it's so close to my heart, and I had seen it in my mind's eye so clearly, which is why I wanted to direct it. Anthony, you're right, had an incredible challenge of playing two different parts. And the most amazing thing, Tatiana, was that when he was playing Tom, for example, it was incredible to watch him not only be performing as Tom, but to be looking across the couch and be thinking, how am I going to now react as Edward? So he was always acting as two characters at the same time throughout the entirety of the piece. He really, Anthony's just so incredible. And he found the nuance and specificity and difference between the characters. And I would say the challenge for him was, one is the AI clone of the other character. So they can't be two totally different people.
Right.
They have to have, there's a Venn diagram of similarities and differences. And Anthony just found that beautiful balance between the two.
Yeah, that was really amazing. I remember I was like, I'm watching Anthony Mackie talk to himself, but it's going so well. He's doing it so well. But
That's amazing.
now I love how each episode has maybe its own kind of sci-fi or tech, theme to it, or there's like an element that has to do with science and technology.
Yes.
So for you, what is it that you want to say, or what is it that you feel about technology and how humans interact with it versus each other that got us here?
Well, it's such a great question. I think that, for me, I really want this piece to feel incredibly urgent. But I do also find that sometimes shows that are about today, people have a hard time really experiencing it because we're living through it. So I wanted this piece to be set in the future. I think when you have that great gulf between now and then, you give yourself a little more freedom and room to actually reflect back on what you're going through in your life today. So the sci-fi element of the show, which is so exciting to me, and to like dream up, and for the other writers to dream up these different what ifs, was wonderful. But as you see, they are all inspired by the mistakes and desires and dreams and ills of humanity, right? I think each piece of sci-fi tech is just an extension of us and like the dreams we have or the desires that we have as human beings. So it was a really wonderful way to, just allow our characters to be going through things that are immediate and urgent to us today, but give us a little distance.
Well, I think that you did that very well. So finally, what is next for you? Hopefully more Hunters in my life. But aside from that,
yeah, we're hard at work on Hunter season 2, and we hope to have more news to share on that soon. But it's been such a joy. So that's what I'm working on at the moment.
Well, wonderful. I cannot wait to see that, and for everyone else to see Solos.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.